The notification lit up my phone at 2 a.m. It was from a number I'd blocked 8 months ago. My hands shook as I stared at the name. Maya. Everyone always told me I had it all figured out. In high school, I was the girl who knew everyone's name, remembered their birthdays, asked about their sick grandparents. My social calendar was packed solid, and people called me their best friend left and right. But I felt completely alone in a crowd of hundreds. When graduation hit, all those friendships evaporated like morning fog. Except one. Maya was different from day one. When I succeeded, she celebrated harder than I did. When she got the lead in the school play, I was front row with flowers. We never competed. We never kept score. She was just there, always, no conditions attached. My parents had this twisted way of showing love. Forget to vacuum, sleep on the porch, leave a cup in the sink, your stuff's in garbage bags on the lawn. Maya's couch became my second home. Her mom kept a toothbrush there for me. Then Cameron walked into my life at a coffee shop, all charming smiles and intense eye contact. He seemed perfect, attentive, protective. He texted me good morning before I even woke up. 3 weeks in, he casually mentioned he'd met Maya once. Said she tried to get cigarettes off him by batting her eyelashes, even though she had a boyfriend. The story felt off immediately. Maya had asthma. She'd never touched a cigarette in her life. But Cameron was always smoking weed, so I figured his memory was fuzzy. Except he wouldn't let it go. Every time I mentioned hanging out with Maya, he'd bring up the cigarette story. He started calling her names, making up this whole narrative about who she was. Why get upset? He'd tell me I was being too sensitive. That was just the beginning. Cameron had this way of making everything about him. If I was excited about something, he'd find a way to dim it. If I was upset, he'd make it worse, then position himself as my only comfort. The breaking point came that December. Maya forgot my Christmas gift. She'd been drowning in college finals and working 2 jobs, but all I saw was that everyone else got something and I didn't. Cameron pounced on that hurt like a predator spotting weakness. He sat me down with this serious expression, told me Maya's forgetfulness proved she didn't value me. That real friends don't forget, that she was toxic and holding me back. When I defended her, he started sending me clown emoji after clown emoji. Then came the silent treatment. 3 days of living in the same apartment with someone who acted like you didn't exist. By this point, my parents had kicked me out for good. Cameron had offered me his spare room, rent-free. I had nowhere else to go. So when he gave me that ultimatum, choose him or choose her, I chose survival. I blocked Maya's number and never explained why. I thought cutting her out would fix things. Instead, Cameron tightened his grip. He convinced me to quit my job at the bookstore because apparently my manager was taking advantage of me. He'd get anxious whenever I left the apartment alone, so eventually I just stopped going out. I couldn't even listen to my favorite podcast without him complaining it made him uncomfortable. When I finally said he was being controlling, he laughed. Actually laughed. Told me every girlfriend thinks their boyfriend is controlling. That I was being dramatic. 8 months into this relationship, I had no job, no friends, no independence, no sense of self. I was a shell, and that's when Cameron decided I was too needy. He broke up with me on a Tuesday afternoon, like he was canceling a subscription service. He said I could stay in the apartment until the lease ended in 3 weeks. He'd stay at his dad's place to give me space. The door hadn't even closed behind him when I unblocked Maya's number with trembling fingers. She answered on the first ring. Her voice cracked when she heard mine. Before I could even apologize, she cut me off. Told me to pack a suitcase with whatever I could fit. Said she was sending an Uber, and I had 20 minutes. No questions asked. No guilt trips. Just immediate action. I showed up at her door with one suitcase and eyes swollen from crying. She pulled me inside, made me tea, and let me sob for an hour before saying anything. Then she took a deep breath and told me she needed to show me something. Something she'd been holding onto for months, waiting for the right moment. She pulled out her laptop and opened a folder. What I saw in those screenshots made my entire reality shift. Messages, photos, timelines that didn't add up.